Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good morning.
Okay, do you remember the previous topic?
Yes.
Do you remember the previous topic?
Yes.
What was it?
Ancient world civilization.
Yeah, the ancient civilizations in the world, yes?
Yes.
Ancient civilization of the world. And the first ancient civilization we
Ancient Greece.
have discussed was about ancient Greece. Okay. Make me remind the main points we have discussed about the ancient civilization of Greece.
Ancient Greece was the birthplace of the Western civilization.
Very good. Any other one? Any other?
We've mentioned oligarchs, which is a form of government ruled by a few powerful people.
I'm having the same sound. May I have a new sound, please? A new voice? Any other student? Radit, are you there? Radit. Okay, are you there? Hello, guys, are you there listening?
Miss, can I still answer?
Okay.
We've also mentioned Athens and Sparta.
What are they?
They're well-known cities.
Okay.
Athens was the largest of the Greek city-state in size and population.
Okay. Okay, we have mentioned the Peloponnesian War. What's the Peloponnesian War? Who fought the Peloponnesian War? Peloponnesian War, yes, you said. The glorious period of Greece came to an end with the outbreak of the Peloponnesian War. It is the war held between Greece and Rome. Yeah, I mean Greece and Sparta, yes? Greece and Sparta. And who won the war? Sparta, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, Sparta. Even if Sparta was the winner of the war, they couldn't lead the country, yes?
Yes.
So who replaced the Athenian civilization? Macedonia, isn't it? Macedonia took the throne and led the civilization. So King Philip of Macedonia, King Philip II, he defeated Sparta. Then he started controlling the rest of Greece, including Persia and Then his son Alexander the Great controlled Greece, Macedonia, Persia, and Egypt. Do you remember this? Hello.
Yes.
Are you listening?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm losing your voice. That's why I'm asking. So, when was the Hellenistic age? The Hellenistic age in the history of Greece. The Hellenistic age was the age of the Greek civilization after the days of Alexander the Great. Yes. Then the Hellenistic age came to an end when the Romans took control over Greece. Do you remember all this? You are not studying, study harder, okay? So today is about the ancient civilization of Rome. What do you know about Rome?
The first people of Rome were called Latins.
Above 5000 BC is our people of Rhodes.
Okay, so the ancient civilization of Rome was the largest in the ancient world, yes? At its height, the Roman Empire stretched. That means when they started it around the
500
Rome,
BC.
the current city Rome. But the territory expanded over the Atlantic Ocean and also in Europe. I mean, that means in the Middle East, over the Euphrates River. So the areas around the Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic Ocean is where? Between the two Americas and Europe and Africa, yes? So those areas, that means they have a territory over the Atlantic Ocean in some parts of Africa and in the largest part of Europe, including the Middle East, around the Euphrates River, where there was the Mesopotamian civilization. Then this civilization, that means the Roman civilization, was founded in 753 BC, before the birth of Jesus Christ, 753. So around the Mediterranean Sea. Around the Mediterranean Sea, there is territory from Europe and territory in Africa. And the name Rome civilization is, that means it's named after the two sons of the Caesar. That means the twin sons of the Caesar named Romulus and Remus. R-O from Romulus, then M and E is from Remus, yes? R-O-M from Romulus, then E is from the Remus. So this is the name from Romulus and Remus. These are the twins. So the name Rome, the current capital of Italy, is named after the two twins of the Caesar sons, Romulus and Remus. So the first people of Rome were called who? Are you there?
Patricians.
Patricians.
Yes.
Patricians.
The first people of Rome. No, the name of the people who founded the civilization were the native people for Rome. Latins or Latinos, you say Latinos, yes? So the first people of Rome were called Latinos or Latins. Don't you say Latinos? Yes, for the people who speak Latin language, you say Latinos. Therefore, Latinos or the Latins are the first people of Rome. Then, what about when we come to the government system of, if you remember last time, for civilization, there are futures, yes? They have to have a government system, then they have to have a religion system, yes? A developed city and a social stratification. So when you see here, at about 504 BC, the Romans established the republic system. So they are, that means the Romans are the founders of the Roman Republic. So they have, I mean, they had a well-developed government system. That was the first one, the Roman. Then they have two more. We will see it later. So for well-developed government system in 504 BC, the Latinos or Latins established a new system of government. So as Athenians are known by their democracy in the 16th century, and the Latinos were the Roman civilization is known by their republic system. That means leaders are elected by people. If a government has a leaders elected by the people, then that civilization is a republic system. If you see the government of Ethiopia, Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, yes, we say the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia. There is democracy, and in that democracy, the leaders are elected by the people. So that's why we call the government republic. So in the republic system, the Romans are first, and it was established in 504 BC. And the leaders of the republic were called consuls. Consuls, the leaders of the republic were called consuls. Are you there?
Yes.
Are
Yes,
you
miss.
listening? Any question? Any question?
No, miss.
No? Okay. Is there anyone with a question? Okay, let me proceed with the points. So in government system, first they had this republic system in 504. Then we said civilization must have, as a character, must have social classes, yes, or social stratification, if you remember. Then here in the Roman civilization, there was a social classification. So ancient Romans had 3 social classes. The first classes were the patricians. In this group, richest nobles are the one who belong to the patricians. That means the nobles means the leaders of the country, the leaders of the people. So all the nobilities belong to the patricians, and they were richest of all. Therefore, all the leading classes, that means including the leaders of a church, the priests, they belong to the first class, and they have to be rich, and they were also rich. So the leaders of a country, they can be also priests, richest priests. And the second class, they had the warriors. That means they don't have, they are not as rich as the nobles, but they are also wealthy. So the warriors belong to the second class, and this second class is called the equites. The third class, that means the last, that is the plebeians. In the plebeians, they are the last, they are poor. They are servants of the formers. That means they are servants for the nobles and for the second classes. So farmers, craftsmen, laborers, and also slaves belong to the last group. That means the plebeians. So the 3 social classes of the ancient Rome civilization were patricians, the first it means, then equites, the third one is the plebeians. Is it clear? Am I clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Then I said in 504, they established a new government system, yes? That means the Roman Republic. And the leaders of the Republic were consuls. Then in BCs, you know, the numbers are going down from the largest to the smallest, isn't it? So here, as you can see, the new system they established, they changed, that means the Romans changed their government system from the Roman Republic to what? The Roman Empire. So in 27 BC, the Roman changed their system to the empire. And Augustus Caesar was the first emperor of the Roman Empire. Augustus Caesar. Caesar is like king, the name of the king. Like for the Egyptians, we say what? Pharaohs, yes? For the Egyptians, the title is Pharaohs. For the Romans, the title of the kings and the leaders, it was Caesar. So in 27 BC, they got a new system of government, that is the empire system. That means the leaders are going to be what? Emperors. When we come to the greatest achievements of the ancient Rome civilization, Romans had their own numbers. So the Roman numbers, the Roman numerals, you know the Roman numerals, yes?
Yes.
The Roman numbers. So they invented those numbers. And also they used the first newsletter. They developed their own newsletter. This time we get newsletter in different forms, yes? In different countries, in different forms, we have a newsletter. And the first people to use newsletter were the Romans. Then the modern plumbing and sanitary management. And in building also, they were good, therefore, using arts to build structures. That means vertical curves in their buildings. They made vertical curves. Then this time also we use air conditioning. Yes, you know what air conditioning is? Do you know what air conditioning is?
Yeah.
Efrata, do you know? So air conditioning for the first time was used by Latins were during the ancient civilization of Rome. Then most advanced construction or the aqueducts of their time, their construction reached to the maximum. That means the instrument they use for construction reached to its maximum. The other thing they had during their time is the making of the first surgical tools. If you have relatives who are medical doctors, or if you have any clinic, or if you have any relative with clinics or hospitals, you may see the surgical instruments, yes? And those surgical instruments, that means not all, but some, was first used by the Romans. So they were good in medication or medicine, it means. And they developed a concrete to strengthen the Roman building. You know what concrete is? When people build their construction, first they have to put a concrete, yes, a base. So concrete was used first by the Romans. Then the codex. Codex means first bound book ordered by Caesar. The king ordered the people to form a book, a bounded book. Before this time, people didn't use a book, a bounded book. It was like a paper. Yes, it was like a paper with handling materials, a single paper. But this time, they used their codex. That means the first book. They had a paper. Most civilizations had a paper forming, like you can take the Egyptian civilization, the Mesopotamia. But they used a leaf type paper. Some maybe from hides and skins, but this time is from a paper, and the papers not in a single form, and instead in a bound book form. And it was the king or the Caesar who ordered the people to form the bounded book. The other thing that the Romans are well known. By the way, the Romans are well known by many things, not only this, but of the things I have mentioned is number one, the Roman numbers. The other is the Roman law. The Roman judicial system is what they are well known in. Habeas corpus. Habeas corpus means recourse in law. That means if you do not agree on the decision made by the court, you ask for recourse. Yes? This is a part of a modern law, but this was started by the Roman ancient civilization in it before the birth of Jesus Christ. It means this time, as a right of the human beings, we need. That means if you do not agree by the judgment made by in the first level court, you can ask the habeas corpus, the higher court, or the higher level. This is a part of a modern law, but in the ancient law of the Romans, this was applied. So habeas corpus or the Roman system is what they are well known in. Am I clear?
Yes.
Am I clear? So
Yes.
the Roman law, the Roman numbers are of the things that most people this time use and know the Romans well. But they did many things that I have mentioned earlier, in construction, in medication, and many more. they contributed a lot, but the Roman law and the Roman number is what we mentioned first of the things they have invented and developed during their ancient civilization. In 285 AD, it's in AD, don't forget. Don't forget earlier we said the Roman Empire was the largest of all the civilizations, yes, developed in the ancient time. Then the territory extended from Europe downwards to the Mediterranean Sea and northern part of Africa. So it is too large, too vast. Then this time in 285 AD, then Emperor Diocletian decided that the Roman Empire was too big. That means he decided it is too big to manage, to control. Therefore, he divided the empire, or first he decided it has to be divided into many parts, but first it has to be divided into two. Therefore, in 285 AD, he divided that large empire of Europe into two, the Eastern Roman Empire and the Western Roman Empire. Then he got two empires. The Western Roman Empire came to an end. That means the Western Roman Empire was weaker than the Eastern Roman Empire. The Eastern Roman Empire was stronger than the Western. Therefore, the Western Roman Empire came to an end at about 476 AD, 476 AD. And Romulus Augustus. Then the title this time for the Western Roman Empire title became this Augustus. Then 476 AD was the end of the Western Roman Empire. This time the reason was this division. What caused this division of the empire? Because the emperor assumed that the empire is too large to control, to manage. Then first it has to be divided into two, then into many more administrative levels. Then the Western Roman Empire came to an end at about 476 AD, and Romulus Augustus was the last emperor of the Roman Empire. When you come to the Eastern Roman Empire, it was stronger than the Western Roman Empire. It survived until 1453. You see, more than 1 century, yes? For about a century, this Eastern Roman Empire survived until the Turks took control over them. So you can see how this Eastern Roman Empire was strong, but this Western was not. Any question? Anyone, any question regarding the points mentioned? Okay, let me get back and ask you some question before I get to the conclusion. And what do we call the first people of Rome? The first people of Rome.
Latins.
The first people of
Latinos.
Latins, yes, Latins,
Latins,
or we also call them Latinos.
Latinos.
Yes. When was the foundation of the ancient Rome civilization? When was?
500 BC.
753 BC or AD? BC, before the birth of Jesus Christ. How did Rome get its name? How did Rome get its name?
From the two
sons.
twins, Romulus and Romulus.
Romulus and Remus.
Okay. From the twin sons of the Caesar, that means from Romulus and Remus. Romulus, R-O-M, then Remus, here is E, yes? Then from the twin sons of the Caesar. Then the social classes of ancient Rome. What were the three social classes of ancient Rome?
Patricians, which were the richest nobles.
Mhm.
Equites.
Equites,
patricians,
rich, but they were not
Plebeians.
nobles,
Plebeians,
and
warriors.
servants.
Okay. Amin Solomon, are you there? Amin Solomon, are you there? Amin. Okay, Efrata.
Yes.
Okay, what were the three social classes and who belongs to the three social classes of ancient Rome?
Patricians, which are richest nobles.
The second
Equites,
one?
equites,
Okay.
wealthy
Equites,
warriors.
the second one. The third one?
Plebeians,
And plebeians, yes? Who belong to the plebeian social class?
farmers, craftsmen, and
Farmers,
laborers.
Laborers and slaves, yes? Okay.
Yes.
By the way, before 504, you see, the system of government, we said at 753, the Roman civilization established, yes? Then what was the system between 753 and 504? There was a system of government. Do you know that? There was a rule of kings, that means monarchy. So the first system they used was monarchy from 753 to 504. Then at 504, they developed the Roman Republic. Then from 504 to 27, they used the what system? The Republic system. Finally, 27 BC, they developed a new, or they changed the system of government into empire system. Then when we come to the reasons or causes for the downfall of Rome, you can study more about the Rome civilization. It's a very vast story, but here I have mentioned some of the major causes of the Roman Empire decline and downfall. So the first was the invasion by the barbarian tribes. The barbarian tribes invaded the Rome civilization. The barbarian tribes invaded Rome. It was the reason for them to decline. It was the reason for them to decline, not for the total downfall. Then economic troubles and over-reliance on the slave trade. By the way, the economy of Rome was based on, number one, when they expand their territory towards the Mediterranean countries, number one was to get an agricultural land, because their cradle or their first center was not conducive for cultivation. Therefore, they had to expand over the countries around the Mediterranean Sea. Therefore, they get a large or vast territory. And again, their economy was dependent on slave. So they had a slave-based economy too. So these things, or the economic troubles and over-reliance on the slave trade was another reason for the decline, still for the decline of the Roman Empire, especially for the West. Then it also had impact on the Eastern. Then the rise of the Eastern Empire, the empire of Rome in the East, that means the Eastern Roman Empire was strong. And again, many more empires of Europe in the East developed. That means they had a competition over the Romans. Most of the tribes or the empires developed in the eastern part of Rome were competing the Romans to defeat. First, they did make them decline. Then it caused the downfall of the Roman Empire. Then government corruption and political instability. Governments were, or that means governors were corrupt, and political instability, that means within the government, within the people, there was conflict. That internal conflict and the corrupt governors caused the Roman civilization to decline. Then overexpansion and military overspreading, because they had a vast territory, then their military power has to overspread over these large territories of Europe. Then they can't be as strong as they were before, because if they had a large territory, if they have a territory in Africa, the military power has to be in Africa, over Mediterranean Sea, over the parts of Europe. Then this time the power declines. Therefore, it contributed for the decline and downfall of Europe, I mean the Roman civilization. Then the spread of Christianity and the loss of traditional values. They lost their, when Christianity introduced to Rome, then they lost the traditional values. That means the cultural things they were making on the people. Therefore, these are the major reasons for them to decline and downfall. So the last time, or the time for the downfall of the Roman Empire was at 1453 AD, and that was due to the Turks. Yes, the Eastern Roman Empire survived until 1453 AD. It's not in BC, AD, until they were captured by the Turks. Yes, the Empire of Turkey controlled the former Roman civilization. This was the end of the Eastern Roman civilization, totally the ancient civilization of Rome. So this is all about the Roman civilization. And if you have any question, you can ask. Any question if you have?
No.
So the main points that you should focus is, and the first people of Rome were called Latins, or you can say Latinos, yes? And it was the largest of all the ancient civilizations. The territory of the Rome stretched over Atlantic Ocean, downwards towards the Euphrates River in the Middle East. The time of the foundation of this civilization was 753 BC. The name of they gave the name Rome from the two brothers, Romulus and Remus. They had a government system. The government system, first it was monarchy from 753 to 504 BC, monarchy system, the rule of the kings. Then 504, that means at 504 BC, they developed or established a new system of government, and that is what? That's what? The Roman Republic. Are you there?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you there, student?
Yes.
Okay. Then after the Republic system, they changed their system to the Roman Empire. In social class, in the social class, they had three social classes: patricians, equites, and plebeians. Patricians are the ruling classes, the richest nobles. Then the second one, the wealthy warriors. Then the third class, named plebeians, farmers, craftsmen, laborers, and all the slaves belonging to the last one. The greatest inventions of the ancient Rome, the Roman number, newsletter, the sanitary, modern plumbing and sanitary management, air conditioning, concrete, surgical tools, the codex, a bounded book, and the habeas corpus are all the things they are well known in. The person who caused the division of Rome into Eastern and Western was Emperor Diocletian. Yes, Emperor Diocletian was the one who was responsible for the division of Rome into two. His plan, I told you, his plan was not only to divide into two. It was to divide Rome into many more subdivisions. But first he divided it into two. The time was 285 AD. And I said the Western Roman Empire was weaker than the Eastern Roman Empire. Therefore, in 285 AD, the Roman Empire divided into Eastern and Western. So almost 90 years after the Western Roman Empire, 190 years after the Roman Empire, the Western Roman Empire, what? Ended, yes? And only the Eastern Roman Empire survived until the Turkish Empire or the Turks controlled over them. That means 1453 AD. The reasons: barbarian tribes invaded them, economic problems, then over-reliance on the trade, the rise of the Eastern Empire, then corrupt governors, political instability, and the weakness of the military power due to over-expansion, then the spread of Christianity and
the loss of traditional
values. These are the major reasons for them to decline and fall. Any question? No?
No.
Okay,
No.
when you come to the class, weeks after, we will see this topic again, then study more about the Roman civilization, and when we see face to face, then next time we will wait. Yes.
የባለፈው ሴሚስተር
They will inform you through
Zoom
Telegram. Check your Telegram. They will tell you when it's going to be. Okay? Check your Telegram.
እሱ ተሰጥቶናል ግን ለማለፍ ግዴታ እሱን ያስፈልገናል።
ፈተናው ሚስ
Which one? The exam is going to be from your grade 7 topics, yes?
የባለፈው የቀረንበት
But the program will be set and you will be informed by your Telegram. So check your Telegram these days.
የሰባተኛ ክፍል
Then bye.
ቴሌግራማችሁን ቼክ አድርጉት።
Check your grade 7 Telegram, not grade 8, okay? Grade 7 Telegram. See you
Okay.
next time. Bye.
ባይ ባይ ሚስ
Bye.
ባይ ባይ
Bye.
ባይ ሚስ
Hmm?
Bye, miss. Keyword runners. So